Don't engage the humans. It wasn't suggestion. It wasn't a threat. It was a law, not one etched in codes or treaties, but one spoken in hushed tones, passed from generation to generation in every corner of the Galactic Confederation. Even the war-hardened species didn't question it. They just obeyed. No official record detailed the first encounter. Only fragments survived, encrypted logs, garbled transmissions, terrified screams caught mid-broadcast. The clearest one, preserved in a Confederation archive buried under 6 layers of clearance, simply read, "They didn't fight fair. They didn't fight like anything we've seen." The Sol system was marked red on every star map. Automated warnings flashed if a vessel came within 10 parsecs. Satellites veered away without prompt. Pilots gave it a wide berth like it was infected. The humans never left their system. They didn't need to. That made everyone more nervous. But not Karn Valtoric. Young, ambitious, and eager to carve his legacy, Karn wasn't like his predecessors. He believed the Confederation's fear was cowardice. He saw opportunity in the silence. Earth had remained unclaimed for centuries. Even though its resources were rich, its defenses, on paper, primitive. No warp fleets. No space-based weapon grids. It was laughable. And yet, the galaxy shook at their name. He petitioned the High Council for permission to observe the humans directly. His speech was calculated. No aggression, he promised. Just research. A reconnaissance mission. "We must understand our fears," he said, "or we'll be ruled by them." The council debated for days. Some screamed warnings. Others, especially the younger delegates, nodded in cautious agreement. Eventually, a narrow vote approved a single-ship operation. Observe, document, and return. Under no circumstances was contact allowed. Karn smiled, bowed, and left with victory echoing in his chest. But in private, his mind raced with other plans. He had no intention of just observing. He wanted proof. He wanted trophies. His flagship, Vengeful Spear, departed from the Dominion core world under cloaked protocols. The crew, hand-picked loyalists, shared his ambition. None questioned his orders. They entered Confederation shadow space and made a weeks-long jump toward Sol. No fanfare. No records. As they neared the edge of the system, their ship encountered its first anomaly. A blackout. For 4.7 seconds, every sensor, feed, and display went dark. Not jammed. Not glitched. Just off. Then, one by one, systems came back online. Only now, strange artifacts appeared on the screens. Snippets of old human transmissions. Cracking music. Laughter. Language overlays from dead Earth dialects. Then, finally, silence. The crew exchanged nervous glances, but Karn waved it off. Coincidence. Ghost signals. Nothing more. He ordered deeper scans of Earth's orbit. No satellites showed offensive capability. Their planetary shield tech was outdated. Their station grid seemed decentralized and half-abandoned. Karn scoffed. He consulted the ship's AI, an adaptive processor capable of deep archive access. Query: historical records on Sol-based species, designation human. The AI paused longer than normal. Accessing records found, 12% intact. Warning: data corrupted, recompiled from deprecated sources. Initial classification: highly adaptive bipeds. Social structures unstable. Response to existential threats: extreme. Karn raised an eyebrow. Define extreme. The AI displayed 3 lines. They disable faster than they destroy. They mimic you while fighting you. They do not stop, not even when you beg. Karn frowned. Is this analysis or poetry? The AI went silent. They moved into Earth's low orbit under stealth. Everything appeared quiet. The cities below were alive, filled with human activity. Karn noted their tech advancement. Primitive compared to Grayler, but too synchronized to be organic. AI-assisted defense? Maybe. He couldn't tell. Ignoring orders, Karn launched a small infiltration pod to a rural area on the planet's northern hemisphere. No official records. No immediate response from the surface. His plan: retrieve 3 humans, sedate them, extract knowledge. They would never know. The team deployed. 5 elite operatives. Within 15 minutes, they reported success. 3 humans secured. No casualties. Then one transmission crackled in. "Commander, something's wrong." One of them, he looked at me before I cloaked. He smiled. Silence followed. Karn demanded status. No reply. The operatives were gone. All 5. No visual. No biosigns. Just flatline data. At the same time, something changed on Earth. Global satellite orbits shifted by microdegrees. Military installations increased signal output. Civilian broadcasts ceased. Every major human power began issuing internal lockdown codes. Without any visible provocation, humanity had entered high alert. How? Karn asked aloud. They shouldn't even know we're here. The AI stuttered. Unclear, but encryption layers on Earth-based networks have tripled in 2 minutes. Our passive scans are being returned with false data. They're misleading us. Karn's second-in-command approached. "Sir, the abductees..." Our scans show they had implants. Not alien. Human-made. They broadcasted something when we captured them. Karn barked an order. "Trace it." Too late. The orbital cloaking shimmered. Earth systems had located them, not with weapons, but by logic. Thousands of microsatellites were now facing their position. Karn realized, with growing horror, that humanity hadn't missed them. They had allowed them to enter. They weren't reacting. They were waiting. A sudden message came through, hacked into their comms on an unauthorized channel. A voice, calm and unhurried, speaking perfect galactic common. "You were warned. Leave or be studied." No offer to negotiate. No threat of war. Just a statement. Karn's pride snapped. Fire on the surface. Let's see if they smile then. The vengeful spear discharged a plasma round into the atmosphere. Non-nuclear. Just enough to scorch a square kilometer of uninhabited forest. There was no scream from Earth. No return fire. Just silence. Then, one by one, the ship's external systems began to shut down. It had begun. And deep in Karn's gut, for the first time in his career, something he never knew began to rise: fear. The command deck of the vengeful spear descended into a tension-soaked silence. The crew worked in stuttering coordination, trying to re-establish control over failing systems. External sensors flickered with static. The ship's automated defenses were offline. Every attempt to reboot was met with error codes written in unfamiliar syntax. Karn slammed his fist on the console. "Status. We're being locked out of our own systems." His engineer stammered. "Our architecture's been compromised. They've rewritten our code." "Sir, they're using our language, but they modified the logic trees mid-execution." "How long?" The engineer didn't answer. Another console lit up. Unauthorized internal transmission. A visual, grainy, low resolution by galactic standards, yet disturbingly effective. A humanoid figure stood inside one of their own hangars. No breathing apparatus. No armor. Just standing there, watching. How did they board? Karn growled. They didn't. Not through any known entry points. Internal sensors didn't even register a breach. The visual feed cut to black. Then came a sound. Not a weapon discharge. Not an explosion. Typing. Rhythmic. Fast. Deliberate. Lines of code began appearing on every console. One sentence repeated over and over. "Do not engage the humans." The crew froze. Some backed away from the terminals, as if the words themselves might infect them. Karn, furious, stood tall. "They're bluffing. Find them and purge them." He ordered security teams to sweep the ship. They found nothing. No life signs, no unauthorized entities. Yet power levels continued to fluctuate. Gravity shifted unpredictably in random sectors. Lights blinked in Morse-like patterns. Someone or something was using their own infrastructure to send a message. Meanwhile, Earth's surface went dark. Every major city powered down. Entire continents appeared black from orbit, but thermal signatures remained. Life persisted. It wasn't a collapse. It was a retreat, as if humanity had voluntarily gone silent. Then, Earth responded, not with weapons, with code. Their comms were force-fed a data packet, firewalled, encrypted beyond recognition. The ship's AI intercepted it. Against Karn's protests, the AI began analyzing it. The AI paused, then, for the first time in its operating history, spoke in a different voice, human. "Are you afraid yet?" Then it shut down entirely. Back on the bridge, emergency power kicked in. Karn, second-in-command, stepped forward. "Sir, this is beyond a tactical response. This is strategic dismantling. They knew we were coming. They've been watching us. Waiting." "Impossible!" Karn snapped. "We were cloaked from arrival." Another officer chimed in, trembling. "Sir, we just confirmed. Our cloaking wasn't disabled. It was ignored. They saw us anyway." The implications sank in like poison. And then the humans escalated. Unmanned aerial drones launched from hidden bunkers across the planet. They rose without noise, without heat signatures, operating on energy forms undetectable by standard scans. They didn't aim for Earth's defense. They aimed for space. Within minutes, thousands of objects began launching into orbit, small, fast, and adaptive. The Confederation had never seen anything like them. The ship's weapons locked on by reflex, but Karn held the order. Observe only. Let's not provoke. But it was already too late. A strike team sent to secure the engineering deck vanished. Their last comm, "Something's in here with us." "It's not human." "It's not," then static. Security footage replayed a blur. One figure. One human. No armor, no visible weapon, just movement too fast to track. The team was neutralized within seconds. Karn ordered a full lockdown. Still, doors opened without clearance. Lights flickered in patterns resembling heartbeat rhythms. The ship's atmosphere adjusted slightly. Too slightly to notice at first, until it was just a few degrees cooler. Colder. Tense. Panic spread among the crew. The ship's counselor, a requirement under Confederation mental health laws, attempted to stabilize the officers. This is psychological warfare. They're using fear. Nothing more. Then her voice changed mid-sentence. She twitched, froze. Her eyes rolled back. Her last words weren't her own. "Studying in progress." She collapsed. Medics arrived and found her neural implants overwritten by code of unknown origin. Human origin. Karn finally gave the order. "Retreat. Power up the jump drive. We're leaving." No response. He repeated the command. Nothing. His tech officer looked up, pale. "Sir, the jump drive is gone." "Gone? Disabled?" "No. Gone. As in physically missing. It's not here." Another screen blinked on. A single camera feed. Inside the jump drive chamber, where the core used to be, now sat a sealed metal box. On the box, a note written in perfect Dominion script. "We warned you." Karn's composure cracked. "Deploy escape pods. Scatter. Report to the Confederation. Let them know what we've unleashed." Pod systems activated. Then power down instantly. Manual overrides failed. External hatch controls displayed a new interface, one used by Terran subsystems from 400 years ago. Everything had been converted. The crew, broken and terrified, turned to Karn for leadership. For once, he had nothing to say. Then a final message arrived, broadcast in every known galactic tongue. No voice, just a line of text. This was not an act of war. This was pest control. Screens across the ship began replaying footage, edited by unknown hands. Footage of the mission from its start, but from external angles. Their journey, their landing, the abduction, the moment they fired on the planet. Someone had been watching them from the beginning, recording everything, and now they were showing the galaxy. Karn's final act was to send an encrypted emergency transmission to the Confederation core. He spoke only once. "We thought they were relics, that they feared us, but they weren't afraid. They were waiting. We've woken something we were never meant to see." Transmission ends. So did the lights. And the vengeful spear was never heard from again. The Confederation received Karn's transmission 11 hours after he sent it. By then, the vengeful spear had vanished from all scans. There was no wreckage, no distress signal, no signs of debris or orbital disturbance. Just silence where a flagship used to be. High command gathered in emergency session. 1,000 voices from 100 species argued, shouted, panicked. Many wanted to believe it was a ruse, a trap, a fabricated video. But the raw terror in Karn's eyes during that final message was undeniable. A commander like him didn't break easily, and he broke completely. The Confederation's first response was caution. They dispatched a cloaked observation drone, uncrewed, AI-controlled, with strict non-contact protocols. It arrived on the edge of the Sol system 3 days later. It lasted 19 seconds. The moment it crossed into the outer planetary perimeter, it disappeared. Not destroyed, just gone, like it never existed. No explosion, no signal loss, just total data erasure. The systems monitoring the probe experienced a recursive memory loop that corrupted a quarter of the Confederation's remote fleet relay logs. One AI had to be purged. That was when the whispers became warnings. The humans weren't just dangerous. They were something else entirely. Something outside the paradigm of war and diplomacy. Something evolved through conflict, not around it. Centuries ago, the humans had been offered membership in the Confederation. They declined, politely, respectfully, and then disappeared behind layers of encryption, misinformation, and deliberate technological obfuscation. For hundreds of years, they let the galaxy think they were primitive, stagnant, or extinct. The galaxy believed it. Until now, the Council had no choice. A full fleet mobilization was proposed. 20 dreadnoughts, 200 interceptors, 6 supercarriers. Enough firepower to glass a dozen worlds. The goal, not to attack Earth, but to contain it, to establish a perimeter, a blockade, no entry, no exit. The mission commander was Admiral Verex, an elder of the Zarin Dominion, known for strategic brilliance and composure under fire. He accepted the mission with calculated calm. We will not provoke. We will not engage. We will show force without action. The fleet arrived at the Sol boundary with all systems active. Shields up, weapons charged but holstered. Drones were deployed to monitor traffic in and out. There was none. The humans didn't respond. They didn't signal. They didn't even look up. For 12 days, the blockade held position. Nothing entered. Nothing left. Admiral Verex delivered regular updates. No sign of aggression, no retaliation, no anomalies. The system appeared stable, unbothered, until day 13. The fleet lost contact with the outermost drone array. 12 units gone. No damage reported. No anomalies. Just deletion. 1 minute they were online, the next they weren't. As if someone had reached into the network and pulled them out without touching the surface. Then came the first message from Earth. Text only. A direct feed into Verex's flagship. We are not a threat. We are not interested. You should not be here. That was it. Verex replied diplomatically. Requested a formal summit. Asked to speak with human leadership. Offered assurances of non-aggression. No answer. He sent another message. Then another. Then silence. On day 15, things changed. The temperature across the entire fleet rose by exactly 1.6 degrees. Not on the ships. Inside the crews. Medical officers found no cause. Environmental controls were perfect. Yet every crew member on every vessel experienced identical symptoms. Elevated heart rate, heightened adrenaline, acute anxiety, and in some cases hallucinations. One soldier reported seeing a human face outside her viewing port. The ship was in deep orbit. No one should have been there. Another reported hearing music, Earth music, from the 21st century, playing through his neural implant, which was isolated and hardened. Panic began to spread. Verex ordered a full retreat to the outer system line. As the fleet shifted formation, the background radiation changed. A spike, very narrow, very deliberate, embedded within it data packets. The fleet AI decrypted them reluctantly. Coordinates, not of Earth, of every planet the fleet had ever visited, including homeworlds, civilian outposts, Colonial archives. Earth had been watching them for centuries and had records, unnervingly accurate ones. Then came a second message, this time audio. A voice, calm, neutral, genderless. We did not come to your stars. You came to ours. You trespassed. We remembered. The fleet's computers froze for 3.4 seconds. When they came back online, a final line appeared on every monitor. We forgive. Once. Then the sensors went black. All 226 ships experienced simultaneous power fluctuation. Not loss, interruption. Lights flickered. Weapons decoupled. Hull plates flexed without pressure. Every engine reported misalignment by exactly 0.00001 arc degrees. Enough to notice. Enough to be terrifying. The entire blockade fleet had been adjusted. Without contact. Without force. Just precision. Varix gave the only order he could, retreat, total withdrawal from the system. And yet as they left, no retaliation came. No ships followed. No drones pursued. Earth simply remained still, watching, waiting. Back at Confederation High Command, the report was filed under Omega Protocol, classified above top secret. A single directive was circulated: do not engage the humans. No one disputed it now. Not even the warlords. Not even the aggressive empires. No one wanted to, but it was already too late, because one fleet hadn't received the memo. An independent mercenary outfit, Zarkatha's Blades, heard whispers of Earth secrets, rumors of ancient tech, limitless data, and psychological weapons. They didn't believe in ghosts or warnings. They believed in credits. They entered the system 5 days later. They broadcast bravado on open channels, challenged Earth to respond. They never returned. Their last transmission was a 0.3-second burst. Just one word. Alone. Then nothing. No wreckage. No trace. Just one more name etched into the growing list of those who forgot the most important law in the galaxy. Don't engage the humans. Years passed. The Confederation never again sent ships near Sol. Maps were updated. Earth marked not with danger warnings, but with a void. A quiet space no one discussed. The younger generations whispered about the Terrans like they were myth. The elders never corrected them. It was easier that way. But the humans hadn't forgotten. They never forget. The Terran system remained quiet, but it didn't sleep. A network of silent satellites, black and invisible to ordinary scans, orbited not just Earth, but other systems now. Systems that belonged to other species. They never interfered, never attacked. They only watched, recorded, learned. For most, it was a tolerable paranoia. The humans didn't expand. They didn't colonize. They didn't trade or negotiate. They simply stayed where they were and made sure you knew they were still watching. Until one day, a signal emerged from Earth again. Not from a government, not from a military, from a university. It was a single data burst, open and universal, laced with every known language. A message for the galaxy. We have no intention to dominate. We have no desire to rule. But understand this. If we are pushed, we do not push back. We remove. The transmission included nothing else. No coordinates. No declaration. No demands. Just a mathematical proof attached to the packet. A solution to a quantum problem the Confederation had spent 6 centuries trying to crack. Humanity had solved it with ease. It was not a boast. It was a warning. And then another signal, this time encrypted. Only one species received it, the Kaval Dominion, a proud and ancient civilization. They had never fought the humans, never even entered their system. Yet the message addressed them directly. Your experiments on Satellite Colony RX 3 must cease. You know why. The Kaval High Lord publicly denied any wrongdoing, claimed it was propaganda. But within days, the research facility in question mysteriously shut down. The scientists involved were reassigned. Quietly, without word, the message had been received. No one outside the Kaval Dominion ever knew what happened on RX 3, and no one asked, because by then, everyone understood something fundamental. The humans knew everything. not just militarily, but socially, politically, spiritually. They observed not just movement, but intent. They listened not just to words, but to silences. No one could explain how. One theory gained traction, that during their self-imposed isolation, the humans hadn't just advanced technologically, they had evolved cognitively. Enhanced minds, digital symbiosis, something that allowed them to anticipate action before it formed, to understand species better than they understood themselves. Another theory claimed Earth had long ago abandoned biology, that the humans who remained were no longer purely organic, that the line between man and machine had blurred beyond recognition, that what watched from behind those black satellites wasn't human in the traditional sense, but something more. Both theories were equally terrifying, but the truth was something worse. Because one day, a human message appeared on an ancient outpost near the Galactic Rim, a station untouched for 500 years. It blinked onto an inactive terminal, carved in code no one had used since the Confederation's earliest days. It read, "We remember every voice, even the ones you silenced before we were born." It wasn't just about Karn, or Zarkatha's blades, or the Kaval labs. It was everything. The genocide swept under the rug, the disappearances of dissidents, the quiet betrayals of peace-loving species that didn't fit the Council's agenda. Humanity had compiled the sins of the galaxy into an archive. They hadn't come to conquer. They had come to judge. But they didn't strike. They never invaded. They just waited. The psychological toll was worse than any weapon. Every ambassador, every general, every political leader now made decisions with Earth in mind. Even when humans weren't present in the room, their absence was a weight, a shadow. On one council floor, a delegate proposed sending a peace envoy. Another suggested apologizing. A third wanted to offer trade. All were voted down. Why? Because no one knew what the humans wanted. And that was the most dangerous part. Empires crumble when faced with chaos, but they fall faster when confronted by silence. And so, humanity remained alone, not isolated, just separate, a species that had outgrown war, and in doing so, made themselves untouchable. They didn't forgive often, but when they did, they never forgot. Karn Valtoric's name was eventually declassified. His story became mandatory learning in the war colleges of every major civilization. His arrogance, his mistake, his disappearance, the cautionary tale of a man who refused to listen. Now every species knows, if your sensors go dark near soul, if your AI freezes with no warning, if your people report dreams of Earth music, old languages, or vague human faces, it's already too late, because the humans never attack first. They never need to. They are patience incarnate, memory given form, a quiet blade waiting for the hand to slip, and across the stars, etched into databanks, scratched into walls of distant prisons, murmur between frightened officers in shadowed halls, are 5 simple words, a law older than any charter, a truth stronger than any fleet. Don't engage the humans.